Brian Boru, High King of Ireland, a 3 to 5 player historically themed strategy game designed by Peer Sylvester and published by Osprey Games. This game is set during the year 1000 CE, give or take a few years, and you are going to be attempting to unify Ireland under the banner of one king. You're going to do this through political alliances, gaining favour with the church, through fighting the Vikings, and through arranging the weddings of various family members. Hello and welcome to Diagonal Move. My name is Neil, and today this is one of my too impatient to wait, not quite unboxing videos of the components within the game Brian Boru. And we're going to take a quick look at the box here. As you can see, the artwork is very reflective of everything that I spoke about in that brief introduction with the Vikings and the church and presumably various members of the family that you're arranging those matrimonial vows for. And there I think is probably Brian Boru himself. Flipping over onto the back, you can see that the game gives you a dual language to both English and German outline, as well as a decent overview of the components and the map and so on that's inside the game. It is recommended for ages 14 plus, takes between an hour and a half to play, a competitive game, and contains the components listed there. So let's have a quick look at what those components are. Well, we have a selection of discs in various different colours, one for each player, as you would imagine. They are what they are, they do what they say on the tin, I guess. And then we have some cards, which I'll come back to shortly, and then two different rulebooks. Now they are the same rulebook, it's just one is in the German language and one is in English. Apart from the language, they are exactly the same inside in terms of their layout and so on. So I'll just put the German language version to one side and concentrate on the English language version, primarily because I don't speak German myself. But we can see from looking at the rulebook, we have very nicely laid out Euro style rulebook, I guess. Despite its historical theme, it's very much a Euro game at heart, I think, this game. You have various different components, an overview of the map and so on. Setup instructions, very clear, nicely labelled, and then the various phases of the game, preparation, drafting, action phase and so on. And this game is quite interesting, or sounds quite interesting. I haven't played it yet, but it sounds quite interesting from a design and mechanics point of view, in that it's a trick-taking game with that element of almost area control, it sounds like, from the overview and from what I've seen of the rules, where you are trying to take control of various parts of Ireland and gain victory points from doing that. So there are various different things. There's various phases to do with the way you make alliances, like the marriage step, the battle step, the church step, claiming regions, various different things. And then there's some detail here about the scoring. It is a victory point game for all its perhaps historical and area control elements. It does have that definite Euro feel, but looks very nicely laid out. There's a good reference guide on the back, very sort of a quick, easy to see, quick reference guide on the back there. So that looks very nice from my point of view. Moving on to what is actually inside in terms of the cardboard stuff. We have one but two different sheets of counters and cardboard components. I want to call them chits, but they're not tokens. And presumably these are the Vikings. And then we have currency, I imagine. Different tokens representing areas of the map, and some other various tokens here. And these tokens here that are actually little rings, they are the monasteries, believe it or not. And it's interesting to see the almost like washers almost there in cardboard. Quite interesting little component, which don't see too many like that. It's not in my collection anyway. On the reverse we have really just a double-sided, more of the same, shall we say. The second counter sheet is very similar. Simply the differences lie in the location markers and the fact they represent different locations. But the cardboard's nice and thick. We do have a label for spare there for that counter. And yeah, again, very nice, very decent thickness cardboard, very very much what you'd expect to find from a game, a big box game of this style. And then onto the map itself, which is a nice, a nicely illustrated, hit the camera there, fairly large board depicting Ireland as it was 1,000 years ago, as a points track around the outside. I assume it's a points track, with different places relating to, I believe they relate to different cards and different types of actions and effects and so on at different cards, together with the places and space holders, if you like, for the different components when the board is fully set up. It looks very nice. I can see everything quite clearly. Not perhaps sure, maybe that's a slightly quite a close card to here. I'm not sure if that's different. We'd have to play it to see. But on the whole, it looks like a very nice map. Now, in terms of the way this game works, it's all to do with the cards, which if I just unbox a few of them here, we do have these player reference cards with the round structure and the various actions on there, but 2 languages. Again, everything in here is that dual language. Now, the cards themselves, they relate to different components in the game. We have, I believe these are the courtship cards, which you play to try and arrange those marriages that we were talking about at the beginning. And then I think these red ones are to do with the Vikings and battle. Blue is the church, various aspects of the church in Ireland at the time. Not 100% sure what these grey ones are. They may well be wild or something like that. And we have various members of the family that you can organise those relationships for and gain political favour with different parts of the country for doing so. Actually, there's two copies of that, one in German and one in English. Quite possibly that is a significant card in the game again. I can't quite recall that from my brief read of the rules that I've had. And then finally we have what could well be combat cards of some kind. I'm not sure. I don't think there's too much combat in the game, but there's certainly potential for it in some abstracted way. But the way the game, my understanding of the game anyway, is that these cards are two-sided or dual purpose, if you like. You have an action at the top and then some actions at the bottom, and you will decide to pick a town or a region and then play cards and to win the trick of cards, and the person who wins gets to do an action at the top and everyone else gets to choose one of these actions at the bottom, the action at the top being more powerful than the actions at the bottom, and allowing you to gain victory points and do more actions depending on whether you've won the trick and how well you've done in the trick taking element of the game. And then those actions affect the various tracks dotted around the board and the things you can do in terms of winning the game and gaining advantage on your opponents. So that then is probably it for now. It's a game which seems quite intriguing. I quite like the idea of a trick-taking basis to a game that I would more typically think of as perhaps a combat-focused game, but I don't think this is. So that's quite an interesting hits both sides of me, the Eurogamer and the historical combat gamer. So quite keen to have a bash at this one. It is a 3 to 5 player game, so there's no solo mode, and it doesn't really seem suitable for 2 either, from what I've read. But that's probably it for now. If you are interested in this game, or indeed any of other games by Peer Sylvester, there is an interview with Peer over on the Diagonal Move website, and it was also featured on Board Game Geek News not that long ago. So do check out that interview if you're interested. Click like, subscribe, all that kind of thing, and I will see you next time.